rights. This is our First Amendment. It says that we can peaceably assemble. We have the right to free speech, and we can petition the government. That's what we're doing here, all three today. And as soon as we stop using those rights, that's when I believe in the United States of America as a government of the people, by the people, for the people, whose just powers are derived from the consent of the government. A democracy and a republic, a sovereign national of many sovereign states, a perfect union, one and inseparable, established upon those principles of freedom, equality, justice, and humanity, for which American patriots sacrificed their lives and fortune. I therefore believe it is my duty to my country to love it, to support its Constitution, to obey its laws, to respect its flag, and to defend it against all enemies. And that's why we are here today. And every single one of you are a patriot, and this prayer is for you. That's why we're here. The power's not in Washington. The power lives within us, we the people. So, 234 years later, I want to say happy birthday, America, because this country is the longest living free nation on earth, and it is the greatest nation on earth. And in order to keep it that way, we need to be vigilant, we need to be strong, and we need to keep our freedoms the way, and our liberties, and keep our Constitution safe. It's just like if you were a good swimmer, and you were next to a swimming pool, and there was a man drowning, okay? And the government said to you, you can't jump in and save that man, because you haven't passed the lifeguard test yet. You need to take the lifeguard test before you can go in and save that drowning man. How idiotic is that? How uncommon sense is that? This is what the government is doing. They're saying to the people down in the Gulf, you can't save your own industry, you can't save your own beaches, you can't save your own land, your fish, everything, your livelihood. You can't do it without we, the government, saying it's okay. BS, I say. That's wrong. People have, and they should be going. The states are starting to step up to the plate and say, you know what? We have states' rights too. We don't have to do everything the federal government tells us to do. We have the right to protect our beaches. We have the right to preserve our livelihoods and without the government giving us permission and keep our Constitution sound. I also want to say thank you to our people in the military. We have a gentleman here today who he's standing right over here, maybe we can give a little round of applause. He just got out of the military a couple weeks ago, served his country, as many hundreds and thousands of people have done willingly every day because they believe in this country. Everybody here knows someone who's in the military who has someone who served. My dad served. And today I'd like to remember probably one of the greatest patriots that we have in this country, a resident here in Gardiner for a long time, Mr. Bill Kells, who passed away 2 years ago on Tuesday. And Bill, Marion Kells' wife is right over here. And Bill is a veteran, and he was a hero in the war. He was a great naval officer, and he just believed in this country. And I said to Marion, I said, if Bill were alive today, he would love the Tea Party. He would be here with us right now. He would just love it. And so we want to have a special little just memory and for Bill. Basically, the Declaration, I'm just going to read a little bit of it here because these words are so beautiful and we don't read them enough. Okay, when they started out, they said in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected with another, and that meaning King George, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate equal stations to which the laws of nature and nature's God entitle them. And that did not mean the laws from the government. That did not mean the laws of the king. It meant the laws that were granted to them by God, nature's laws, okay, that every single human being has. The government can't give it, and the government can't take it away. We all have those natural freedoms within us. And that's what they were saying, was they wanted the right to be able to express those natural freedoms. More of the Declaration. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by the Creator, not the government, their Creator, with certain unalienable rights, and among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That doesn't mean guaranteed mortgages. It doesn't mean guaranteed jobs. It doesn't mean the government's going to take care of you and be a nanny state. This means that every single person in this country has the same opportunity As the administration in D.C. says, never waste a good emergency, okay? Never let a good crisis or disaster go to waste. So what have they got now with the Gulf Coast? And guess what they're pushing now in D.C.? Cap and trade. Cap and trade is, it's basically going to be the ruination of this country, second only to healthcare, because the whole thing is unsustainable. Cap and trade is basically what I think is going to take over of the oil industry. It's going to, bankrupt every single person in this country because businesses are not going to be able to go along with all of these races. Restore fiscal responsibility and constitutionally limited government in Washington. Okay? Sounds like an impossible job. However, they're all preaching it right now. Every single politician out there is fiscally responsible. So if that's the case, why are we in such a damn mess? Why is every single state broke? Why is everybody, the government's broke? Why are we having these deficits? If there's so much fiscal responsibility in Washington, where is it? I'd like to know. So what we want to do is we need to stop re-electing people based on their records, okay? And say, if you have been in Congress and you have just voted for spending measure after spending measure, including things like the stimulus package, then you don't deserve to be in Washington because that is not fiscal responsibility. It is fiscal irresponsibility. Defund, repeal, and replace government on health care. The health care bill, we haven't even begun to see the problems and the enormous issues. I mean, I can't even enumerate the problems are going to be. And they aren't going to show up right away. They're going to be creeping through so that you don't really notice them all right away, okay? And if you're one of the lucky seniors who got the $250 donut hole check, whoopee, huh? Here's more of our money being wasted on absolutely nothing. But the health care bill is we need to elect people who are going to be determined. The number one thing in Congress is going to be to not fund it, to repeal it, and get rid of it, okay? It's an absolute socialistic nightmare. Number 8 on the list is passing all of the above energy policy, which means forget about it. I mean, we can only have so many, amp-saving little twisty light bulbs in our house, okay? That's not going to do it. Solar power, everything else, it's all fine, well, and good, but the bottom line is we are an energy-dependent country. We need to have everything. We need to have oil. We need to let people drill where it's safe. We need some common sense on an energy policy. What are they doing out there now? They're putting a moratorium on drilling just because there's a horrible accident that's taking place. So how is that going to make us more energy independent? It's insane. It's not going to make us more energy dependent. But they will not look at other things. They will not look at nuclear. They will not look at every time anybody says gas. Oh my God, you can't do that. That's going to be a disaster. They want to stop energy. They want to pull on. So how is that going to make it better? It's insanity. So, New York State's getting ready to be. And so what can we do? Okay, come November, I think just like the Tea Party and just like the Independence Day and the colonists who said we're going to break ourselves away, okay? We're going to break ourselves away from the king and we're going to start to do the right thing and govern ourselves. I think what we're going to have is a revolution, but it's going to be a revolution of a very different kind. It's going to be a revolution at the ballot. And every single politician right now, from local right up through to Washington, had better be shaken in their boots.